Hey everyone, today is May 6th, 2024, and we're about to go drain a flooded road. I just took a little break, pulled down this road, had lunch to gain some energy. Now we're gonna go back, and I think it's gonna be a pretty good unclogging, actually. The pipes are over 2 feet under the water. I feel like I can get it pretty easily, and we should have a good blast. Not doing too bad. It's 52 degrees out, nice day. Last night got down to 36 at night, very nice. Now that we're so far north, any dark parts of the road still have snow. Dark areas where all the evergreen trees are, no sun, there's still gonna be a little bit of snow. Yeah, right here is still a little bit of snow. Just because the sun doesn't shine here. It's still considered mud season, so for the next few weeks, tractor trailers are not allowed on these roads because they can sink and get stuck. Also, they cause a lot of damage to the roads this time of year, crushing culverts, other stuff. So it's gonna be coming right on up now that we're back to the main road. See that cool bird? The hawk just flew over the road. Considering some things I've seen today, there was some very bad sections of road. I'll include those clips at the end of the video that I encountered earlier today. This road is actually in very good shape. When you're able to go 30, 40 miles an hour on these roads, or 50, 65 kilometers, you know it's in good condition. Some of these dirt roads, you're struggling to go the 10 or 20 kilometers, and it's just horrible. All right, everyone, we have reached the Angry Beaver Swamp right here. All that water on the left. There's a few feet, and the water's crossing over the road right here. Quick free car wash. Let's turn around, check it out, get the big high boots on, get the rake out, see what we can do. And there's some moose poop in the road. Yeah, that was a quick car wash. Did you see how dirty my hood was before I went over that? All right, let's find somewhere to park. I don't see a beaver lodge anywhere, and this swamp looks small. It's probably a secondary pond, but it's that time of year. Even if it is a primary pond, they can be removed without the beavers being affected by it. All right, everyone, let's go check out what needs to be done here. So, the logging company left the beavers with an endless amount of wood that the beavers don't even have to cut down. I don't know if the beavers will use that or not, because beavers, if you pull debris out of the culvert, leave it up by the road, they will not reuse material. But I don't know if they'll use material that wasn't theirs, because beavers feel when a dam fails, they don't know I'm unclogging it. They don't know a guy when an excavator's unclogging it. They just see that it failed, and they think they didn't do well enough, so they will not reuse that material. They also will build back stronger because they think they failed in some way. But if they're desperate, they'll reuse the pile. But they have so much material, new material, not a problem. Look at all the bushes and stuff in the water. Trees in the water that they flooded. They got a pretty good supply here. And when we pull out some of this stuff, we'll be able to tell if the end was chewed by a beaver or if they actually will reuse what the logging company cut down when they were trimming. So I see a few logs in here. This area has been flooded before. Maybe beavers, maybe not. You see all the dead petrified trees. It's been flooded before, but not in a while. Then all these little bushes and stuff grew. It probably was beavers maybe 10 years ago. Logging company probably removed the beavers, unclogged it, and now new beavers have found it once again. So right here there are 2 pipes. My goal is to get at least one of them open. So the second pipe is right here. Let's see. Can we actually see the ribs of the pipe anywhere? Not at the moment, but I'll find it with the rake. This one here, yes, we can see the ribs of the culvert pipe. So this one will be very easy to locate. And I think because we have so much water, once we get a little bit of flow, a lot of this mud, we'll be able to scrape it around. It'll get sucked through the pipe. Down here, you see all that debris there. That looks like the last unclogging. Whoever unclogged it, let go a blast right there. 2 pipes. One of them's flowing a little bit. We'll get camera number 2 out here and see what we can do. Good amount of water crossing the road also. These right here are moose tracks. Yeah, take a look at this water. Good amount of it flowing. Yep. Let's take a look down here. Just getting my before shots. That's a very pretty tree with moss and mushrooms. A little bit discolored because I just drove through it. Yeah, look at this amount of water. I think we can easily get this through the pipe, but the beavers will just go ahead and clog it back up again. They will until they're relocated, and they're probably still here. I think this is personally a secondary pond. All right, everyone, we're all geared up with the big high boots and rake. Here's camera number 2. All right, camera number 2 is going. Let's go ahead and take a walk across the road. Let's see about getting this thing open. Truck just drove by. First truck I've seen since I've been out here the past couple days. All right, let's get on in the water. Hopefully there's no angry beavers in the area. But there's no lodge nearby, so they're very unlikely to come over and be territorial. See what we can do. Get the bigger stuff out of here first. So hopefully we can just open it real quick in one big blast. That's how I like to do them. Hopefully I don't get too muddy. Water's too cold this time of year to take a bath. There's excavator damage. Goes out a little further than I thought. Looks like a little bit of water is going to get through the excavator damage. Whoa. Almost flooded my boots. got good suction. Help us pull this apart. I need a break. This is an exhausting one today. This is an exhausting unclogging. Let's take a look at this whirlpool. It's a big one. Haven't seen a big whirlpool like that in a while. That was so hard to get out of there. Let's see how the other side's doing. It's like a giant river. Wow. Good thing it didn't go near the camera. Awesome. Here's what this side looked like before we started. And here's what it looks like now. Big improvement. We already dropped about 3 or 4 inches, I'm noticing, on all the trees. Not a very big pond. Before we even leave that culvert to be out of the water, just like the other. That went through there like a torpedo. I heard it come out the other side. This water kind of stinks. I'm sure there's moose poop in the water somewhere. I finally got both pipes open 100%. Now I'm going to break down the beaver dam foundation a little bit, so you'll see lots of clumps come out. The hard part's done. I was trying to beat the clock, because once the water's down, you don't have any help. Remember I was saying that I smelled moose poop? Well, I see pellets of it all over in the water. This water's disgusting. You might see on the pond surface that there's a couple bubbles coming up. As the water level drops, there's less pressure holding mud against gas pockets. As the pressure's let off the mud, the gas bubbles can go up to the surface. I see a lot of gas being released from the mud. Oh, there's a rock. The mosquitoes are starting to get me already. All right, everyone. That water's a lot more disgusting than I realized. Took a little bit longer than I thought, but I wanted to clean it up really nice. I got rid of most of the beaver dam foundation. So in front of the pipes, you see this elevated area? That's the beaver dam's foundation. I was able to deteriorate a lot of that because they'll use that mud. All they got to do is put a few sticks in front of it and they'll smear it shut again. Beavers can get these things shut within a few hours. Very easy. Most of this water is going to drop. There wasn't too much water going across the road, and now it can easily fit through less than half a pipe what we saw over there trickling. So it's still dropping a bit. If you look in the distance, at first I was wondering, is that a beaver under the water coming towards me? Because I keep seeing all these bubbles of gas coming up. But what happens is things are rotting in here underneath the mud, and it creates gases. There's little, okay, so starts off as the pond bottom is mud. Things underneath the mud are rotting, creating gas. The water pressure is holding the mud against the gas bubbles. Now that the water level's dropping, the pressure is gone, so the bubbles can go right up through the mud. That's why you see bubbles happening everywhere, and it kind of stinks out here. Like a lot of people were telling me the last time I said that's impossible. If there was gas, water pressure would make it come out faster. No, that's not true because it's trapped under the mud and the water pressure is holding the mud against it. So now this is already noticeably starting to reduce. That looks very nice. Even though the water's this clean, the water does still stink. And let me give you an example. If I zoom in, can you see underneath the water right there? That's moose poop all over underneath the water. Moose were in here grazing or something, pooping in the water. At least it wasn't as bad as we've unclogged culverts a few times where there was literal giant piles of floating moose poop that must have been over in the corners of the pond. And when I started draining it, they all got sucked over, and it took me a while to figure out what it was. That was my biggest unclogging I ever did once. We lowered the water like 6 feet in a pond. And then there was another time, it was a very small pipe, and the beavers actually used the moose poop as mud. So this will probably drop about another foot. There'll still be a little bit of water here, a little bit of water in front of the pond until the beavers come back. So let's get some before and afters of this awesome stuff right here. A lot of beautiful flowers starting to come up too. Look at those. Nice flowers. So now there's no flow here at all. Here's what this area looked like before I did anything. And here's what it looks like now. Nothing flowing at all. Come back up here to the road. Here's what this looked like before. And here's what it looks like after. Just a couple puddles that'll eventually dry up, sink into the ground. And now the water is probably 8 inches, almost a foot below the road now. Nice. Looking good. If we zoom in right here, we could see some fresh beaver material laying on the ground. A few pieces of wood that they were chewing because they eat the bark. That's their food. Beavers love these type of trees. Whatever they are, they love water. They grow really good. Beavers cut them down, they grow back in just a couple years. Awesome dam building supplies, and they love eating the bark off them. Here's what the entrance of the culverts looked like before I arrived. And here's what it looks like now. Look at that big water skimmer. Those are your friends. I am being bit by mosquitoes now, but these water skimmers, I've picked them up before, never been bit. People claim they bite sometimes, but those right there will kill and eat mosquitoes. And they'll even kill the mosquitoes if they're not hungry because they're territorial. They don't want mosquitoes landing on their pond. That's why I love when they show up to my ponds back at my place. Right now, are you able to see that? Look all around. There's little bubbles coming up everywhere. Rapidly coming up. A lot of bubbles coming up. I really wish that water was a little bit more shallow. I'd love to go take a walk out there. Can't imagine how many gas bubbles I'd be releasing just walking over there. Now let's go get camera number 2. Really good flow, look at that. Not flowing as much as before. Those pipes were just about at capacity at that point. It's pretty deep. Look at all that beautiful aeration. But you can see now that water's a little bit yellow. A little bit nasty at the moment. Let's take a look in there. Nice. Here's what this looked like before. And here's what it looks like after. I'm also noticing underneath the tall grass, they got a very nice retaining wall hiding there. I'm also noticing underneath the tall grass, they got a very nice retaining wall hiding there. Right here we got a group of water beetles. Check that out. Right over by where I parked, you can see where the water was. All that grass underwater there. You can tell now exactly where the water usually is, because that grass wouldn't be growing under the water like that. So these beavers recently rose it up. You see all the grass underneath here? This is usually not flooded, but like I said, this was flooded just as bad probably a decade ago. That's why the trees, that's why this whole area is swampy. Beavers have done it before. If we zoom in over there, we can also see evidence of active beavers. We don't see a lodge or anything. It's a very small pond. If they lived here, they'd already be out very angrily slapping their tail on the water. That's how a beaver threatens you. Yeah, this water's probably a little too deep to go venturing, but I'm gonna give it a shot now that it's dropped quite a bit. Look at all that slop. Yeah, I can already see this is not gonna happen. Yeah, still too deep. Even when this goes down completely, there's still gonna be feet of water here. It's just a smaller pond that is supposed to be here. But before the road was a thing, there probably was nothing here at all. The pond's only here because of the road acting as a little bit of a dam. You see, as the water current's going, it's tearing apart and creating a little undertow. So that's why more and more debris keeps finding its way against the pipe, because it's just flowing so much. Doing good. And the other pipe. What do we got there? Another stick. I still can't wait to see the footage of that really big log I sent through. Speaking of that, where is the really big log? That went through there like a torpedo. I heard it come out the other side. Did it sink? Or the... Oh, that might be it over there. I'm thinking that's it. Probably. Still more and more gas bubbles starting to come out. Let's see if we can get out there from a different spot. Wow, wow, look at the water beetles. They're everywhere. Those are cool. Some water beetles are like this on the surface. Meanwhile, I do have some of these at my house, But there's also bigger water beetles, big ones, that'll go and they'll eat tadpoles here and there. And they're usually swimming under the water, not on the top. They'll be afraid of me. See, look at them go, look at them go, look at them scatter. They're afraid of me. Let's see if we can access the water here. Getting right in with all the water beetles. Okay, it's a little more shallow here. There's a very thick amount of mud on the bottom of this. Yeah, this tree is too slippery. I can't walk on that. Whoa. Yeah, very deep. Oh, look at this. There's some snails right there. Look at that little grassy island coming back out. Yeah, right here, the bottom of the pond, well, I should say the top of the mud is like 18 inches underwater at this point, maybe a little more. But the bottom of the pond is much deeper than that mud. Still trying to make my way out somehow. Be careful feeling the bottom. The bottom is not what it appears to be. Whoa, oh, oh. I'm done. Not trying that anymore. Yep, I flooded my boot. Damn it. Now I gotta have a wet boot the rest of the week. I shouldn't have had so much curiosity in the gas bubbles. Alright. I guess I'll hang my boot up tonight when it's time to sleep. For now, guess I'll leave it flooded. It's not exactly flooded, it's just damp inside. Just checking the little pools of water. Sometimes there'll be tree frog eggs. Tree frogs develop really fast. There'll usually be a little frog that's able to leave the puddles in early summer, so they're less likely to become dried up. Well, culvert unblocking is a dirty job. Haven't been stupid enough in a while to get myself flooded in a while, but that's okay. All right, let's get back on the road. Let's go exploring for a while, see if we can find any more beaver issues. I'm going to add a few little clips at the end of this video of things we saw before we arrived here. A couple very bad road conditions. I found a 4-foot sinkhole in the middle of the road. Someone had already marked it, but I showed it. A couple plastic culverts which caused awful sinkholes, and a couple videos of moose from last evening. Well, I hope today's video was interesting, everyone. Thanks for watching, and have a great day. Hey. Hey. This deer doesn't really have any fear. There's another one too, but it ran in the woods. Want that? No. Look at that. There's 2 moose up there. Oh. Just down the road a minute ago, there was a deer. Today I saw at least 5 deer out here. Usually you don't see any deer. Usually I'm only seeing moose out on these logging roads. We don't have many deer around here, it seems, unless they just hide. Yeah. Those moose will find each other again. Oh my gosh, there's another moose up there walking. Look at that. 3rd moose in 5 minutes. It's definitely not the same one. Wow. And there's a good amount of erosion here. The culvert could not handle it, so went over the road. A lot of ruts. See if we can go catch up with that moose. Looking down at the culvert. They have already unclogged it. Let's go see if we can get to see that moose. Gotta watch it. Right here, water's been crossing. Is the moose up here in the road still? Oh no, it heard me coming. Oh, there it is, there it is. Over here in this clearing. Where is he? He's blending in perfectly. Yeah, there he is. You see him moving? There. Yeah, blending in perfectly. Yeah. That's a pretty shot. Just trying to get him to look over here. Well, we're gonna take off. Yeah, it's spring. This is when there's the most moose out on the roads. Once you get into the summer months, they'll all be hunkered down. You won't see them too much. Wow. Yeah, that's a bad one. Wow, what a mess. Let's go check out what this plastic culvert has done. Wow, look at the void that this plastic culvert has made here. The thing just split open and it sucked all the gravel into it. Then it looks like once it got crushed, all this drainage ditch started eroding it. It's over 2 feet. People had to jam logs in there. Once again with the plastic culverts. What a mess. That pipe hasn't even been there a year. Oh wow. Let's get out for a minute and take a look at this. That tree fell in a perfect convenient spot. What a convenient spot for this tree to fall over. Lets people know what's up here. This is quite the big sinkhole. got to be a culvert. I can hear water. Yep. Where is it? Yeah, right here. Culvert pipe. Take a look at this hole. Now, that's a deep one. You can use that bucket as comparison, because I'm looking on my screen, it doesn't look as big as it really is. Wow, look at that. It's a good 4 feet. The bottom of that, underneath here. Yeah, definitely don't want to be near that. Look at that in the road. We got a deer. There's a deer up there. We got another deer. Whoop, ran away. Oh look, there's another deer. Right there.